Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Gainey Titan. Just want to talk about a few things. There's an update 4.3 has been announced, and there's some interesting changes to be made in that. And as well as that, the USSR very thoroughly defeated the United States in Tank Bowl. So yeah, I picked the right team. Last time we had Tank Bowl, I finished up, I think, playing the wrong teams most of the time, and I didn't get any of the freebies. I'm not sure if I'm particularly interested in the tank, but I'll pick it up if it's free. Otherwise I might not bother. Probably wouldn't bother buying it. I have enough Sherman variants to do me. I'm not a huge fan of the Sherman. I mean, you know, I understand its merit, and it's not a bad tank, like, but it's huge importance in history, and it was a pretty good tank for the Americans for the war. I think, you know, it had a lot of merit as a tank in the general context of World War II. However, I'm being distracted a little bit. The other thing is that there's some interesting changes, I think, in update 4.3. It looks like they're going to take Port Cameron and White Park out of the map rotation for the higher tier games from tier 8 to tier 10. Now they've put it down on the website as tier 8 to tier 12, but I doubt if they're planning to introduce tier 11 and tier 12 tanks. We'd certainly have heard more about that. I suspect that's a typo. They're also changing some of the relative rotation weightings for some of the maps. So they're going to increase maps with mixed terrain, particularly hills, rivers, hills, mountains, and hills and that sort of stuff, which would be good. Because I think the rotation has been very hostile to people playing lightly armoured maneuverable tanks, and particularly to light tank players. Which is why you've been increasingly, I think, getting just a lot of YOLO play from light tankers rather than actual scouting play seems to be just dead. And I think a lot of it's down to the policies that Wargaming have. They don't encourage it, they don't tell people or explain to people how to do it, and it's very difficult to do well. And it requires a kind of an expectation, A, that light tanks will light things up, and B, an expectation that you'll shoot stuff that the light tanks will light up, rather than everybody YOLOing off hunting for stuff. They're bringing in a new map based on Gillikin Gall, which I'd be interested in. I've always found a certain interest in that particular battle. And they're bringing back Severogorsk and Live Oaks now, either rather the Serene Coast or Fjords or any of the more open maps. Severogorsk, I think, is unbalanced myself. I think it favours the south spawn, but they may have changed the spawn points. They may have subtly altered maps as well, so that might not be as much of an effect. But it was very much a corridor fight along each end of the map, a bit like Liberty Falls, except with different terrain. But there was very good opportunities for defensive play, particularly on the southern spawn side. You could, if you knew you were going to lose one of the corridors, you could set up some very good fallback positions. The opportunity was less so, I think, on the northern side, which is why I think the map was a bit unbalanced. But they're bringing back Live Oaks, which is one of my favourite maps. Although the gameplay on Live Oaks before it had been removed had gone really funny. Everybody was kind of going for the railway line. It was turning into a bit like kind of a version of Lakeville, where the majority of the teams on both sides were going for the railway line and then getting bogged down because they couldn't make progress against strongly hull down tanks with strong turrets, and nobody was inclined to just charge in, mad dash, damn the torpedoes and push. So then what happened was that once the side that sent the more overwhelming force to the town won the game because they trounced whoever was in the town, and then they wandered out and started flanking the people on the railway line, and it was then all over fairly rapidly. But still, I look forward to it because I think the map rotation as it currently stood definitely lacked variety. There was too many of similar type maps, too many corridor maps, and it was great if you're playing heavy tanks, and great if you're playing well armoured tanks. Not bad actually for medium tanks, but if you're playing stuff like the ISU 152 that I'm playing here, or some of the other more lightly armoured, particularly fixed gun tank destroyers and stuff like that, or even light tanks, it must have been a bit of a nightmare. Constantly having to play these similar kinds of maps over and over again, especially when you were facing heavy tanks all the time, or heavier and better armoured tanks. You didn't really get the opportunity to prey on the flanks and or scout, because a lot of these corridor kind of maps don't require scouts. The heavy tanks will do the scouting for you, which is a pity, because I think scouting play is really something that needs to be promoted. It's a bit of a lost art, I think, in the console. A lot of the veteran players have moved on, and it's just not happening. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you didn't enjoy my rambling, at least you enjoyed the game in the background, which I thought was a reasonable game. If you did, please consider giving the video a like, and if you haven't already done so, please give the channel a subscription, and I will catch you all again soon.